Miss Makima? Do you think
The name.
I might fall for this girl?
Bomb is coming.
My heart! Denji's heart! Does nobody want...
Chains, Chaos, and Pure Carnage. Chainsaw Man, 2025, isn't just an anime adaptation, it's a cinematic bloodbath that's taking fans by storm. But does it live up to the hype, or get lost in the gore? Today on J Cinema Film, we're diving into my full review of the movie plus some insane facts you probably didn't know about its production, cast, and hidden details. Chainsaw Man, the movie Man Reze Arc, is a 2025 dark fantasy action animated film based on Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga series Chainsaw Man. It serves as a direct sequel to the first season of the anime television series. The film is produced by MAPPA, directed by Tatsuya Yoshihara, and written by Hiroshi Seko. The movie premiered in Japan in September 2025, distributed by Toya. Internationally, it is scheduled for release through Crunchyroll and Sony Pictures, releasing in select Asian markets later in September, with a worldwide rollout in October 2025. Plot: Denji, who has become Chainsaw Man after gaining the heart of a devil, continues his work with Special Division 4's Devil Hunters. After going on a movie date with Makima, the woman he longs for, Denji takes shelter from the rain. There, he meets Reze, a mysterious girl who works in a cafe told to copyright, cast and crew the casting for Chainsaw Man. The movie, Reze Arc, released in 2025, largely reprised the voice actors from the 2022 anime television series, maintaining continuity in character portrayals while adapting to the film's cinematic scope. Directed by Tatsuya Yoshihara and produced by MAPPA, that decision to retain the original cast was announced alongside the film's production details, emphasizing the studio's commitment to preserving the established vocal dynamics that fans had embraced. This approach allowed the actors to delve deeper into their roles, building on the foundation laid in the series. For instance, the Japanese voice cast, led by Kikunosuke Toya as Denji, brought back their nuanced performances, while the English dub, handled by Crunchyroll, featured returning talents like Ryan Colt Levy in the lead role. Interviews from cast members highlighted the excitement of transitioning from episodic storytelling to a feature-length format, with many noting how the Reze Arc's themes of romance, betrayal, and intense action provided new challenges in vocal delivery and emotional depth. In the Japanese version, Kikunosuke Toya returned as Denji, the chainsaw-wielding protagonist whose journey from a downtrodden teenager to a devil hunter forms the heart of the narrative. Toya, born on November 30, 1998, in Tokyo, began his career after winning a special award at Sony Music Artists' 6th Anniversary Tells edition in 2017. Inspired by fellow voice actor Inari Ace, his early experiences in comedy, drama, and piano during high school shaped his versatile acting style. Toya's breakthrough came with Denji in the Chainsaw Man series, where he captured the character's mix of ferocity and vulnerability. In a 2025 interview with Oricon, Toya discussed preparing for the role in the Reze Arc movie, revealing he recreated Denji's ultimate dread to immerse himself in the character's simple desires. He emphasized how the film's focus on Denji's budding romance with Reze allowed him to explore softer, more introspective tones, contrasting the high-octane action sequences. Toya's performance was praised for nailing Denji's manic energy, as noted in Anime News Network reviews, where his vocal work and fight scenes conveyed both mania and idiocy effectively. His award as Best New Actor at the 18th CU Awards in 2024 underscores his rising status, and for the movie, he reprised the role with added maturity, reflecting Denji's growth post the series events. Opposite Toya, Reina Ueda voiced Reze, the enigmatic cafe tilde copyright worker and bomb devil hybrid central to the arc's plot. Ueda, born January 17, 1994, in Toyama Prefecture, joined 81 Produce after winning the Semi-Grand Prix and their 2011 audition. Her career took off with roles like Narasakiya in Hanamata, earning her the Best New Actress award at the 9th CU Awards. Ueda's diverse portfolio includes Mallow and Poke tilde copyright Moan, Sun Moon and Kanout Sayuri and Demon Slayer. For Reze, Ueda brought a captivating blend of sweetness and menace, as highlighted in a 2025 Facebook post about her interview in Da Vinci magazine. She discussed how Reze's duality required shifting from gentle cafe tilde copyright interactions to explosive devil confrontations, drawing on her experience voicing complex characters. Critics lauded her performance for adding depth to Reze's bittersweet romance with Denji, making the character's tragic undertones resonate. Ueda's close friendship with Rie Takahashi, another 81 Produce alum, influenced her collaborative approach, evident in her seamless chemistry with the cast. Feruzai reprised her role as Power, the blood fiend whose chaotic energy provides comic relief amid the film's darker themes. Born July 6, 1993, in Tokyo to a Japanese mother and Egyptian father, joined Profit after working as a dental assistant to fund her training. Her debut as Hibiki Sakura in How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift earned her the Best New Actress at the 14th CU Awards. Ai's portrayal of Power in the series was a standout, and for the movie, she amplified the character's eccentricity, as discussed in a 2025 TikTok video with the English cast. Ai's multilingual background added unique flair to Power's bombastic dialogue, blending humor with ferocity. Her performance in the Reze Arc emphasized Power's loyalty to Denji, providing emotional anchors in intense scenes. Tomori Kusunoki returned as Makima, the manipulative control devil whose presence looms over the story. Kusunoki, born December 22, 1999, in Tokyo, debuted in 2017 and quickly rose with roles like Satsuyuki in Love Live, Nijigasaki High School Idol Club. Despite health challenges, including joint pains that led to her stepping down from some roles, Kusunoki's Makima was chillingly composed. In a 2025 Screen Rant article, she shared how the Reze Arc changed her view of Makima, revealing unexpected depth. Kusunoki's soft-spoken delivery masked the character's menace, earning praise for subverting expectations. Shigo Sakata voiced Aki Hayakawa, Denji's stoic partner. Sakata, born January 23, 1998, in Kumamoto, debuted after enrolling in Amusement Media Academy. Hizaki captured quiet determination, and in the movie, Sakata explored the character's tragic arc more profoundly, as per 2025 Reddit post from Jump Festa. Sakata's performance highlighted Aki's internal conflicts, adding gravitas to group dynamics. Shiori Aizawa lent her voice to Pashida, Denji's loyal Chainsaw Devil companion. Aizawa, born February 1, 1987, in Saitama, has a prolific career with roles like Nanachi in Made in Abyss. For Pashida, Aizawa's expressive barks and whimpers conveyed emotion wordlessly, drawing from her Keiichiro work in SSSS. Gridman. Her versatility shone in the film's quieter moments. Karen Takahashi portrayed Kobani Higashiyama, the anxious devil hunter. Takahashi, born September 9, 1994, debuted after winning Pony Canyon's audition. Her Kobani's nervous energy provided humor, and in interviews, Takahashi noted the role's emotional demands, especially in high-stakes scenes. Mama Uchida voiced the Angel Devil, enigmatic ally. Uchida, born December 27, 1989, in Tokyo, is renowned for Rikit Takanashi and Love, Chuna by Other Delusions. Her Angel Devil balanced ethereal calm with underlying sadness, as discussed in a 2025 Anime News Network feature on favorite scenes. Natsuki Hani returned as Beam, the Shark Fiend. Hani, born June 26, 1991, in Kanagawa, is famous for Tanjiro in Demon Slayer. His energetic beam added levity, and Hani shared in a YouTube interview how the movie's action allowed for more dynamic vocal work. Uchida voiced the violence fiend, Gilgili. Uchida, born December 3, 1965, in Saitama, brings depth from his dubbing experience. His Gilgili's gruff tone contrasted the character's masked appearance, enhancing the film's Devil Hunter ensemble. Shifting to the English dub, Ryan Colt Levy reprised Denji. Levy, born February 12, 1987, in New York, transitioned from music to voice acting. His Denji captured dry emotion, as detailed in a 2025 YouTube interview discussing the Reze movie. Levy's performance emphasized Denji's growth, blending humor and intensity. Alexis Tipton voiced Reze. Tipton, born August 11, 1989, is known for Mocha Akashiya in Rosario Plus Vampire. Her Reze's seductive yet dangerous vibe was highlighted in cast discussions, drawing from her opera training for emotional range. Sarah Y. Edenheft portrayed Power. Y. Edenheft, born July 3, 1993, in Amersfoort, Netherlands, excels in quirky roles like Tohru in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Her Power's over-the-top antics shown, as per 2025 panel with the cast. Suzy Yu voiced Makima. Yu, born June 12, 1991, brings subtlety to manipulative characters. In interviews, she discussed Makima's complexity, noting how the Reze Arc revealed new layers. Reagan Murdoch played Aki. Murdoch, born September 28, 1994, captured Aki's stoicism, as seen in a 2022 IMDb news piece on Chainsaw Man dubs. Lindsay Seidel voiced Pashida. Seidel, born June 15, 1991, in Dallas, is versatile in creature sounds. Her Pashida's endearing noises added heart. Brinapro portrayed Kobani. April, born January 29, 1996, in Plano, Texas, nailed Kobani's panic, drawing from her stage experience. Casey Mongillo voiced the Angel Devil. Mongillo, born October 22, 1987, in Connecticut, brought androgynous tones, fitting the character's ambiguity. Derek Snow played Beam. Snow, born August 25, 1979, infused enthusiasm, as per his website bio. Josh Bangle voiced the violence fiend. Bangle, born December 25, 1991, provided a gravelly contrast. The casting process emphasized chemistry, with rehearsals focusing on ensemble interactions. From Jump Festa announcements to magazine interviews, the actors expressed enthusiasm for the arc's emotional stakes. This reprise ensured the film's fidelity to the source while elevating performances for the big screen. Production development and pre-production. The production journey of Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc began with an official announcement at Jump Fest 24 on December 17, 2023. This announcement marked a significant moment for fans who had been eagerly awaiting the continuation of the anime series following the conclusion of its first season. The film was positioned as a direct sequel to the television anime, adapting one of the most beloved arcs from Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga series. The decision to adapt the Reze Arc as a theatrical film rather than continuing with the second television season represented a strategic shift in how MAPPA and the production committee chose to continue the Chainsaw Man anime franchise. This choice reflected growing confidence in the property's ability to draw audiences to theaters, following the success of the first season, which had generated substantial buzz and cultural impact despite mixed reception regarding some of its directorial choices. Nearly a year after the initial announcement, the film received a second major reveal at Jump Fest 25 on December 22, 2024, where a 2025 premiere date was confirmed along with Toya being named as the Japanese distributor. This second announcement came with additional details about the production timeline and helped maintain momentum and fan excitement during the lengthy production period. The selection of the Reze Arc for theatrical adaptation was particularly strategic. In the source manga, this arc represents a pivotal turning point in protagonist Denji's emotional development and introduces Reze, a character who would become one of the series' most popular figures. The arc's relatively contained narrative structure, focusing primarily on the relationships between Denji and Reze with explosive action sequences, made it an ideal candidate for the feature film format. Unlike some manga arcs that sprawl across numerous chapters with multiple subplots, the Reze Arc offered a cohesive beginning, middle, and end that could be adapted without feeling rushed or incomplete within a theatrical runtime. The development phase involved careful consideration of how to translate the manga's distinctive visual style and pacing to a feature film format. Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga is known for its kinetic action sequences, sudden tonal shifts between comedy and horror, and unconventional panel layouts. The creative team faced the challenge of preserving these elements while creating a viewing experience that would work for both dedicated fans familiar with the source material and potential newcomers who might be experiencing Chainsaw Man for the first time in theaters. Production planning also had to account for the high expectations set by the first season. While that season had been praised for its animation quality and ambitious directorial approach, it had also faced criticism from some quarters for diverging from what certain fans expected. The Reze Arc film needed to balance artistic ambition with satisfying the core fanbase while also being accessible enough to draw in a broader theatrical audience. The film staff and cast were confirmed to be reprising their roles from the anime series, with Tatsuya Yoshihara taking over as director. This represented a significant change from the first season, which had been directed by Ryan Nakayama. Yoshihara brought his own directorial sensibilities to the project, having previously worked on successful anime productions. His appointment suggested a potential shift in the visual and narrative approach compared to the television series, though the decision to retain most of the staff and all of the voice cast helped maintain continuity with the established anime adaptation. Hiroshi Seko continued as the screenwriter, providing another element of continuity from the television series. Seko's experience in adapting complex manga narratives to anime format was seen as crucial for ensuring the Reze Arc's emotional beats and character development would translate effectively to the screen. His work involved condensing and restructuring the manga's chapters into a coherent film narrative that maintained the pacing necessary for theatrical viewing while preserving the arc's essential character moments and thematic elements. The pre-production phase also involved extensive planning for the film's action sequences. The Reze Arc is action-intensive, featuring elaborate fight choreography and destructive set pieces. MAPPA's animation team had to design and storyboard these sequences in ways that would take advantage of the theatrical format, creating visuals that would justify the big screen experience. This included planning for enhanced detail and character animation, more elaborate background art, and effects animation that could showcase the studio's technical capabilities. Character design work focused particularly on Reze herself, ensuring her visual presentation would capture both her seemingly innocent cafe worker persona and her true nature as a devil hybrid. The designers had to create a character who could convey vulnerability and danger, often within the same scene, while remaining consistent with the established aesthetic of the anime series. Voice direction planning was another crucial element of pre-production. The returning cast needed guidance on how to approach their characters in a theatrical context, where different pacing and emphasis might be required compared to television episodes. For the new cast members voicing characters specific to the Reze arc, the voice directors had to ensure their performances would mesh seamlessly with the established vocal characterizations while bringing fresh energy to their roles. The production timeline was structured to allow for the high-quality animation MAPPA had become known for. Though this created scheduling pressures, feature film animation typically requires more detailed work than television animation, with higher expectations for consistency and visual polish throughout. The studio had to balance this film project alongside their other ongoing productions, requiring careful resource management and scheduling. Marketing strategy development began during pre-production, with plans for how to generate and maintain audience interest in the lead-up to release. This included considerations for trailer releases, promotional events, merchandise tie-ins, and social media campaigns. The strategy needed to appeal to existing Chainsaw Man fans while also attracting general anime viewers who might not be familiar with the property. Location scouting for theatrical release was also part of the pre-production planning, with considerations for how many theaters would screen the film, what special formats would be supported, and how to maximize the film's theatrical presence both in Japan and internationally. The decision to pursue IMAX screenings required additional technical preparation to ensure the animation would look optimal in that format. Throughout the development and pre-production phases, the creative team maintained communication with Tatsuki Fujimoto, the manga's creator, though the extent of his involvement in the adaptation process has not been extensively documented. As with many manga adaptations, finding the right balance between faithful adaptation and necessary changes for the medium transfer was an ongoing consideration. The pre-production period also involved securing the international distribution rights and planning for the global release strategy. The decision to partner with Crunchyroll and Sony Pictures Releasing for international distribution was made during this phase, setting the stage for a worldwide theatrical rollout that would follow the Japanese premiere. This required coordination between multiple companies across different territories, each with their own theatrical distribution networks and marketing approaches. Budget allocation was another critical aspect of pre-production planning. Feature films typically have larger budgets per minute of runtime compared to television anime, allowing for more ambitious animation but also creating higher financial stakes. The production committee had to balance the desire for high production values against commercial realities, projecting potential box office returns and weighing them against production costs. Technical preparation included ensuring the animation pipeline could handle the demands of feature film production, from initial key animation through to final compositing and color correction. This involved both software preparation and staff training to ensure everyone working on the project understood the elevated standards expected for theatrical release. The music production timeline was also planned during pre-production, with coordination needed between composer Kensuke Shio and the various artists who would provide theme songs. Planning the integration of music with specific scenes required early storyboarding and preliminary timing work to ensure the soundtrack would enhance rather than distract from the visual storytelling. Filming. The term filming in the context of anime production refers to the various stages of animation production, from initial key animation through the final compositing and effects work. For Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc, this production phase represented the period when the pre-production planning was executed and the film began to take its visual form. The animation production followed MAPPA's established workflow but with modifications for the feature film format. Key animation represents the crucial drawings that define major movements and expressions, and for this film, the key animation phase was particularly intensive. Feature films typically require more keyframes than television animation to achieve smoother motion and more detailed character acting. The key animators working on the Reze Arc film had to create thousands of drawings that would serve as the foundation for the final animation. Character animation for the film required special attention to maintain consistency and quality throughout. Unlike television series where different episodes might show slight variations in character design and animation quality, A feature film needs to maintain a consistent level of quality from beginning to end. The character animation team worked to ensure that Denji, Reze, and all other characters looked and moved consistently throughout the film, with particular attention paid to facial expressions and subtle bodied language that would convey emotional states. The action sequences presented particular challenges during the animation production phase. The Reze arc includes several elaborate fight scenes featuring Chainsaw Man's signature style of brutal, kinetic combat. Animating these sequences required not only technical skill in depicting complex movements but also creative solutions for conveying the impact and intensity of the battles. The animation team employed various techniques including dynamic camera angles, speed manipulation, and detailed effects animation to bring these action sequences to life. Effects animation played a crucial role in this film's visual impact. This included everything from the chainsaw effects that are central to the protagonist's abilities to explosions, water effects, blood splatter, and various supernatural elements associated with devil powers. The effects animators had to create visually distinctive and memorable effects while ensuring they integrated seamlessly with the character animation and backgrounds. For theatrical presentation, these effects needed to work at high resolution and on large screens, requiring more detail than might be necessary for television broadcast. Background art for the film was created with theatrical presentation in mind. The background art team produced detailed environments that would establish the film settings, from urban Tokyo locations to the cafe where much of the early story takes place to the various locations where action sequences unfold. These backgrounds needed to be detailed enough to look impressive on large theater screens while also supporting rather than overwhelming the character animation. The art direction maintained the visual aesthetic established by the television series while potentially elevating certain aspects for the theatrical experience. Color design and color correction were particularly important for ensuring the film's visual cohesion. The color design team established the film's color palette, determining not just what colors would be used but how those colors would convey mood and atmosphere in different scenes. The romantic scenes between Denji and Reze might employ warmer, softer colors, while action sequences could use more saturated or contrasting colors to enhance their impact. Color correction in post-production would fine-tune these choices to ensure consistency throughout the film. Compositing brought together all the various elements of each scene into the final image viewers would see. This technical process involved layering the character animation, background art, effects animation, and any computer-generated elements, then adjusting their interaction to create a cohesive image. For the Reze Arc film, compositing also involved adding film-specific visual effects like depth of field, light bloom, and other elements that could enhance the theatrical presentation. Computer-generated imagery, CGI, elements were integrated where appropriate. While MAPPA has sometimes faced criticism for CGI usage in other productions, CGI can be valuable for certain elements like vehicles, complex mechanical objects, or certain supernatural effects. The key in this film's production was ensuring any CGI elements blended naturally with the hand-drawn animation rather than standing out awkwardly. The CGI team worked closely with the traditional animators to maintain visual consistency. Camera work in anime refers to the virtual camera movements and framing choices made during production. For this film, the cinematography team had to design camera movements that would work effectively on theater screens, taking advantage of the theatrical format to create more dynamic and immersive framing compared to what television allows. This might include more elaborate camera moves, creative angles, and compositions designed to maximize the impact of key moments. Storyboard animation represented an intermediate phase where the static storyboards were turned into rough animated form to test timing and composition. This phase allowed the directors and animators to see how scenes would flow before committing to final animation, making it possible to adjust pacing, camera angles, or action choreography based on how effectively they conveyed the intended story and emotion. The animation of subtle character moments received particular attention given the Reze Arc's focus on the developing relationships between Denji and Reze. The film needed to convey complex emotions through character animation: attraction, vulnerability, deception, regret, and more. The animators working on these scenes had to capture nuanced performances that would communicate these feelings to the audience, making the eventual emotional payoff of the arc land with appropriate impact. Action choreography required extensive planning and execution. The fight scenes needed to be coherent and followable despite their intensity, requiring careful animation of character positions, movements, and spatial relationships. The choreography had to balance coolness and impact with clarity, ensuring audiences could understand what was happening even during the most chaotic moments. This involved frame-by-frame planning of combat sequences, sometimes with animators acting out movements themselves to understand the physical dynamics involved. Quality control throughout the production phase was essential for maintaining the standards expected of a theatrical release. This involved multiple review stages where supervisors would check animation for consistency, quality, and adherence to the established character designs and art direction. Any elements that didn't meet standards would be sent back for revision, creating an iterative process that gradually refined the animation to its final form. The production schedule required careful management to ensure the film would be completed in time for its planned release date. Feature film animation is time-intensive, and delays at any stage can cascade through the production pipeline. MAPPA's production management team had to coordinate between the various departments, manage resources, and maintain the schedule while still allowing the creative team the time they needed to produce quality work. Resource allocation across the film was also strategic. Not every scene requires the same level of animation detail and effort. The production team strategically allocated resources, focusing the most effort and best animators on the film's most important scene as a key character moments, major action sequences, and visually spectacular set pieces while maintaining acceptable quality standards for less critical scenes. This resource management is standard in animation production but requires careful planning to ensure the results feel consistent to viewers. Collaboration between departments was crucial throughout the production phase. The animation, background art, effects, compositing, and CGI teams all needed to work in coordination, sharing information about timing, composition, and visual elements to ensure everything would come together seamlessly. Regular meetings and communication channels kept everyone aligned on the film's creative direction and technical requirements. Technical challenges arose throughout production and required problem solving. This might include figuring out how to animate particular effects, achieving certain stylistic goals within production constraints, or ensuring compatibility between different software tools used by different teams. The production team's experience and technical expertise were essential for overcoming these challenges without compromising the final product. The later stages of animation production involved increasing detail and polish. Initial animation passes might be relatively rough, with subsequent passes adding detail, refining movements, and polishing the overall presentation. This iterative refinement continued until the animation met the quality standards required for theatrical release. Post-production for Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc encompassed all the work done after the principal animation was completed, transforming the animated footage into the finished film audiences would see in theaters. This phase was crucial for achieving the production's vision and ensuring the theatrical experience would meet expectations. Sound design represented one of the most important aspects of post-production. The sound design team created the sonic landscape of the film, including all the non-musical sounds audiences would hear. This ranged from mundane sounds like footsteps and ambient city noise to the distinctive sounds of chainsaw transformations, devil powers, explosions, and combat impacts. For an action-heavy film like this, sound design was particularly crucial for enhancing the impact of fight sequences and making supernatural elements feel tangible and powerful. The sound designers had to create an audio experience that would work effectively in theatrical sound systems, taking advantage of surround sound capabilities to create an immersive experience. Voice recording and dialogue editing completed the vocal performances, while some preliminary voice recording. Connie Nielsen, John Ortiz, RZA, Colin Hanks, Christopher Lloyd, Sharon Stone director, Timothée Chalamet screenwriters, Derek Kolstad, Aaron Rabin rated R, 1 hour 29 minutes. A family vacation seems in order, and Hutch knows just the place. It's Plummerville, the summer resort town featuring an amusement park that he has fond memories of going to as a kid. So he picks up his elderly father, Christopher Lloyd, at the old age home and brings them all to the now run downtown for some innocent fun. Except if you've seen Nobody, you have a pretty good idea that innocent fun doesn't come easily to Hutch. Much of the first film's pleasure came from the gradual reveal that its unassuming, middle-aged central character was in fact the sort of badass who can overcome gangs of lethally armed men half his age. That element of surprise is inherently missing in the sequel, to its detriment, but screenwriters Derek Kolstad and Aaron Rabin's simple but ingenious premise provides plenty of amusement. After all, who can't relate to someone desiring a simple vacation with their family only to have work issues get in the way? It all begins innocently enough, with an altercation at an arcade between Brady and another boy who accuses him of hitting on his girlfriend. In the ensuing melee, an overly aggressive security guard makes the mistake of whacking Hutch's young daughter on the head. Hutch manages to get his family out before claiming he's forgotten his cell phone and returning to the arcade to get medieval on the employees. This arouses the ire of the town's belligerent sheriff, Colin Hanks, playing against type, and crooked theme park owner, John Ortiz, who decide to get revenge on the apparent family man causing them trouble. And that, of course, is when all hell breaks loose, as Hutch learns that the town is the center of operations for female crime boss Landina, gleefully played by Sharon Stone. She's the sort of psycho who owns a casino where the penalty for cheating is death, which she administers personally. Director Timothy Jacinto, May the Devil Take You, The Night Comes for Us, taking over from the previous film's Alien A. Schuller, stages the mayhem-filled proceedings expertly, perfectly realizing the franchise's blend of bone-crushing violence and slapstick humor. The stunt team and fight choreographers deserve tremendous credit as well. Not to mention Odenkirk, who one-ups Liam Neeson in not only becoming an unlikely action movie star at a mature age but also displaying an impressive physicality in the elaborately staged fight scenes. Much of the fun comes from the incongruity of the seemingly mild-mannered figure suddenly springing into violent action, making inventive use of whatever random objects happen to be nearby that he can transform into. Of the Reze Arc's themes love, deception, transformation, and loss, while also being a compelling standalone musical work. Theme songs for anime films serve dual purposes. They must work within the film's context while also functioning as promotional tools and standalone releases that can attract attention to the film. The ending theme song is Jane Doe by Yonzu and Hikaru Utada. This collaboration between two of Japan's most acclaimed musical artists represented a major coup for the film's music program. Hikaru Utada, known internationally for work including Kingdom Hearts theme songs and numerous hit albums, brought prestige and attention to the project. The collaboration between Yonzu and Utada created a unique musical event that would attract fans of both artists while serving the film's needs for a powerful closing theme. Jane Doe as a title carries thematic resonance with the Reze Arc's story elements, suggesting themes of unknown identity and mystery that align with Reze's character. The ending theme's placement would give it responsibility for leaving audiences with a particular emotional impression as they left the theater, requiring music that could encapsulate the film's emotional arc and provide catharsis or reflection on what viewers had just experienced. The production of these theme songs involved separate processes from the film score. The artists would have created these songs in their own recording environments, potentially with input from the film's creative team about themes, mood, or specific story elements the songs should reflect. The songs then needed to be integrated into the film during post-production, with careful attention to how they would work with the visuals and how they would transition from the film's action into the credit sequences. Music video production for the theme songs created additional promotional content. Anime theme songs typically received music videos that might incorporate film footage, original animation, or live-action elements featuring the artists. These videos serve as promotional tools for both the film and the songs themselves, distributed through music video platforms and social media to generate interest. The music release strategy involved making the theme songs available for streaming and purchase, both as promotional tools leading up to the film's release and as ongoing revenue streams. The timing of music releases relative to the film's premiere was strategic, building anticipation while also capitalizing on interest generated by the theatrical release. Soundtrack album production compiled the film's score and theme songs into a purchasable product. The soundtrack album might include score tracks, full versions of the theme songs, and potentially additional material like character songs or alternate versions. The soundtrack release served both as a standalone product for fans and as another element of the film's promotional and revenue strategy. The integration of music with the film's sound design required careful mixing to ensure music enhanced rather than competed with dialogue and sound effects. This was particularly crucial during action sequences where music, sound effects, and occasional dialogue all needed to coexist without creating audio chaos. The mixing engineers worked to ensure each element had space in the sonic landscape while collectively creating the intended impact. Music licensing for different territories and formats was part of the business side of the film's music program. This included ensuring proper contracts were in place for theatrical exhibition, home video release, streaming distribution, and any other exploitation of the film that would include the music. Rights management for high-profile collaborations like the Yonzu Utada song required particular attention to ensure all parties' interests were protected. The cultural impact of the film's music extended beyond just serving the film itself. Successful anime-themed songs can become cultural phenomena in Japan, topping music charts and gaining recognition even among people who don't watch anime. The involvement of artists of Yonzu and Utada's caliber positioned the music to achieve this kind of broader cultural penetration, potentially attracting audiences to the film who might otherwise not have been interested. Released theatrical distributed by Toho, the film was theatrically released in Japan on September 19, 2025. And screened in 61 IMAX theaters. The September release date positioned the film strategically within the Japanese theatrical calendar, avoiding the most crowded seasons while still capitalizing on periods when audiences actively attend cinemas. The choice of Toho as distributor aligned with MAPPA's previous relationships and Toho's strong position in the Japanese theatrical market, giving the film access to substantial exhibition resources and marketing power. The film opened in 421 theaters, representing a significant theatrical footprint that demonstrated confidence in the film's commercial prospects. Opening in over 400 theaters is substantial for an anime film, though not unprecedented for high-profile properties. This wide-release strategy aimed to maximize opening weekend box office performance and ensure accessibility for fans across Japan. The theater count reflected both the film's anticipated appeal and the growing acceptance of anime films as mainstream theatrical events rather than niche releases. The IMAX component of the release added prestige and provided an enhanced viewing option for audiences seeking a premium theatrical experience. IMAX theaters, with their larger screens and enhanced audio systems, offered a way to experience the film's action sequences and visual spectacle in a more immersive format. The 61 IMAX locations represented a selective but significant deployment of this premium format, concentrated in major urban areas where demand for premium theatrical experiences is highest. The film also had MX 4D, 4DX, and Dolby Cinema screenings. These additional premium formats offer distinct experiences beyond standard digital projection. 4DX and MX4D theaters featured motion seats and environmental effects like wind, mist, and sand synchronized to the film's action, creating a more physically immersive experience particularly suited to action-heavy content. Dolby Cinema theaters offer an enhanced visual and audio presentation with Dolby Atmos sound and improved projection technology. Offering multiple premium formats maximized the film's ability to attract audiences willing to pay higher ticket prices for enhanced experiences, diversifying the theatrical offering and creating multiple tiers of viewing options. The premium format strategy served multiple purposes beyond just revenue generation. These formats created talking points and generated social media discussion as viewers compared experiences across different formats. The variety of options encouraged repeat viewing, as fans might see the film multiple times in different formats to experience how the story played in each configuration. Premium formats also elevated the film's prestige, positioning it as an event worthy of special theatrical experiences rather than just another anime release. Ticketing strategy likely included advanced sales periods that allowed dedicated fans to purchase tickets before general release, building anticipation and generating early revenue data that could be used in marketing. Pre-sales numbers often serve as indicators of commercial prospects and can generate positive buzz if strong. Different theaters might have offered various promotional incentives like exclusive merchandise, special posters, or other collectibles to encourage advance purchases and build excitement. Theater marketing and promotion involved collaboration between the distributor, theaters, and promotional partners. Theaters displayed promotional materials like posters, standees, and video advertisements in lobbies. Some theaters might have created special themed concessions or merchandise tie-ins. The theatrical lobby experience became part of the overall event, making attending the film feel special beyond just watching it. Opening day coordination ensured smooth execution across hundreds of theaters simultaneously. This logistical challenge involved ensuring all theaters received their digital cinema packages, technical support was available for any projection issues, and staff were prepared for potentially large crowds. The opening day experience needed to go smoothly to generate positive word of mouth and avoid negative publicity from technical or organizational problems. Special promotional events accompanied the release. Stage greetings featuring cast members or staff created special events that generated media coverage and gave fans opportunities to see the people behind the film. These events typically occurred at select theaters on opening day or nearby dates, creating premium experiences that could attract hardcore fans while generating promotional content for wider distribution through news coverage and social media. The theatrical run strategy anticipated keeping the film in theaters for an extended period depending on performance. Initial booking commitments from theaters typically covered the first few weeks, with continuation depending on box office performance and audience demand. Successful films might remain in theaters for months, transitioning from wide release to more selective exhibition as the run continued. International theatrical distribution represented a major component of the release strategy. The film was set to be released globally by Crunchyroll through Sony Pictures Releasing, premiering in theaters in more than 80 countries from September 24, 2025, and in the United States on October 24. This global rollout demonstrated the franchise's international appeal and reflected broader trends toward day-and-date or near-simultaneous international releases for major anime films. The international distribution partnership with Crunchyroll and Sony Pictures Releasing brought together Crunchyroll's expertise with anime properties and fan communities with Sony's established theatrical distribution network. This combination provided access to theatrical markets across multiple continents, from Asia to North. Reviews and facts. Number 1. Chainsaw Man fans get their first look at the next chapter as the official trailer for Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc has been released. The movie opens exclusively in theaters on October 29. Watch the trailer below. Chainsaw Man hits theaters for the first time. Chainsaw Man moves from the small screen to theaters. The movie adapts the Reze Arc from the anime and manga, continuing Denji's story as he faces his most dangerous threat yet. The plot picks up as Denji, now the Chainsaw Man, finds himself caught in a deadly fight between devils, hunters, and secret enemies. A mysterious girl named Reze enters his life, leading to a brutal conflict where survival depends on instinct. At the heart of it is Denji's struggle with love and violence. Movie details. Cast and crew. Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc is directed by Tatsuya Yoshihara and written by Hiroshi Seko. It's based on Tatsuki Fujimoto's original Chainsaw Man manga, which runs in Shueisha's Shonen Jump Plus. The animation studio MAPPA, behind the TV series, returns for the movie. The theme song, titled Iris Out, is performed by Kenshi Ionzu and released under Sony Music Labels Incorporated. Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc opens October 29 and will screen exclusively in theaters. Chainsaw Man is Denji, a young man who became a devil-human hybrid after making a contract with his pet devil dog, Pashida. Once a debt-ridden devil hunter working for the Yakuza, Denji was betrayed and killed. In his final moments, Pashida fused with him, transforming Denji into Chainsaw Man, a brutal fighter with chainsaws emerging from his body. As Chainsaw Man, Denji battles devils and other deadly enemies in a violent world where survival is all that matters. Chainsaw Man started as a manga created by Tatsuki Fujimoto. It first appeared in Shueisha's weekly Shonen Jump magazine in December 2018. The series quickly gained popularity for its violent action, dark humor, and emotional storytelling. The first part of the manga, known as the Public Safety Arc, ran until 2020 and was followed by a second part that continues on the Shonen Jump Plus digital platform. In 2022, the Chainsaw Man anime adaptation premiered. Produced by the studio MAPPA, the anime introduced the story to a global audience, following Denji's early days as Chainsaw Man and his work for the Public Safety Devil Hunters. Now, the story continues on the big screen with Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc, adapting one of the manga's most popular arcs. Number 2. It has been over 2 years since anime fans bore witness to the animated arrival of one of the bloodiest shonen series in our lifetimes. Chainsaw Man easily lives up to its reputation, even in its first season by Studio MAPPA. While it was announced that MAPPA would be making a comeback to Tatsuki Fujimoto's brutal universe while the franchise's first film, Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc, few other details have been revealed about Denji's silver screen debut, until now. This year's Jump Festa has spilled the beans on the Chainsaw Devil's anime future, and it's one that should have all anime fans excited about what is to come. For those who might not be familiar with the Reze Arc, this will continue Denji's story immediately following the conclusion of Season 1. In the previous season finale, the mysterious Reze was featured briefly and will be playing a significant role in this upcoming movie. Without going into spoiler territory for those who haven't read the manga, Reze is a unique character in both Denji's life and the supernatural happenings of their shared world. Much like Season 1, the first film won't just be filled with plenty of battles and bloodshed. If the source material was any indication, it will take things to the next level as the Chainsaw Devil finds himself facing off against a particularly explosive foe. Chainsaw Man takes over Jump Festa 2025. This year's Jump Festa might have big announcements for some of the biggest shonen franchises, but Chainsaw Man is definitely up there in terms of its biggest reveal. Chainsaw Man has announced that Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc, is currently scheduled for a debut across theaters in Japan beginning sometime next year. A release date has yet to be confirmed for the new movie as of the time of this publication, but Tatsuya Yoshihara will be directing the new film with the screenplay from Hiroshi Seko, character designs from Kazutaka Sugiyama, and Kenshuka Shio composing the music. You don't have to wait on Chainsaw action while Chainsaw Man news has arrived. You don't have to wait a second longer to dive into the story of Denji following the first season's finale. Creator Tatsuki Fujimoto has been writing and drawing the manga for quite some time, splitting Denji's tale into 2 parts. Without diving too deeply into spoiler territory, things have changed by quite a bit since the events of the anime's first season. In the pages of the manga, the Chainsaw Devil is now splitting the spotlight with newcomer Reze Makata, who has added a new dynamic to the bloody shonen series. Unfortunately, it's going to take quite a long time for the anime to catch up to what is happening in the manga, so you will have years to dive right into the source material. Want to stay up to date on Denji's anime future? Follow along with Team Anime on comicbook.com for the latest updates on all things Chainsaw Man, and hit me up directly at TV Comedy to talk all things comics and anime. Number 3. When Chainsaw Man Season 1 first aired in 2022, it was easily one of the biggest anime hits of the year. With MAPPA's stunning animation and the head-twisting visuals from Tatsuki Fujimoto's original manga, Chainsaw Man left us all wanting more. Now we know when the next entry in the series will be, as the Chainsaw Man movie covering the Reze Arc gets a release date. During Anime Japan 2025, it was revealed that Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc, would debut in Japan on September 12, 2025. Though there hasn't been an international release date confirmed yet, we can expect it to make its way to the US and other territories a few months later, probably by the end of 2025. The first season of Chainsaw Man ends on a significant cliffhanger, with a brief scene that shows the character Reze. She obviously plays a big role in the next arc in the manga. Without getting into too many spoilers, let's just say that Reze is a blast in the manga and we can't wait to see her on the big screen. Instead of turning this arc into a short season of the anime, MAPPA has instead opted to adapt it into a feature film, hoping to capture some of the hype of the series even though it has been almost 3 years since it streamed on Crunchyroll. Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc has a release date of September 12, 2025 in Japan. No international release date has been announced, but we assume that Crunchyroll, who streamed the first season of the anime back in 2022, will be handling the film's release in the US and other territories by the end of the year. Each week, Pop vs. resident anime expert Trent Cannon runs down the latest and, dare we say greatest, in anime and manga and Pop vs. Jump. Some recent columns have included Agretsuko vs. Chainsaw Man, two wildly different anime with the same anti-capitalist message. From Tomo-chan to Oshinoko, how some of your favorite manga creators got their start in hentai. Flying whales, meshes, and Miyazaki vibes, inside Netflix's Leviathan anime with the people who made it. How translations of manga continues the Inshinification of the medium, and why Japanese publishers are less precious about it. I never wanted a Cyberpunk Edgerunners sequel, but God help me, I'm going to watch it. Number 4. Set for release in Japan on September 19, Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc is shaping up to be one of the biggest anime events of the year. Unveiled during Anime Japan 2025 in Tokyo, a brand new trailer has teased the arc's intense emotional stakes and explosive action sequences. Based on Tatsuki Fujimoto's best-selling manga, the film follows Denji's fateful encounter with Reze, a mysterious girl hiding a deadly secret brought to life through Studio MAPPA's signature, high-impact animation. A new wave of official character art has also been released for Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc, sending fans into a frenzy online. First shown at Anime Japan 2025, the illustrations shine a spotlight on Denji, Reze, and other core characters, offering a first look at the film's updated designs. Chainsaw Man's new visuals show a darker tone and deeper drama. Fans get a first full look at Reze and Bomb. The new character visuals include a mix of returning fan favorites and key newcomers. Denji appears front and center, along with his transformed state as Chainsaw Man and his loyal devil companion, Poshida. Classic characters like Makima, Aki, Power, and Kobani are also back, each with fresh, stylized artwork that reflects their roles in the upcoming arc. Most notably, this is fans' first full look at Reze and Bomba, two central figures who bring a darker, more emotional edge to the story. Every illustration adds to the gritty, suspenseful atmosphere fans have come to expect from the franchise. The Reze Arc film is said to begin with Denji seeking shelter from the rain after a date with Makima, only to meet Reze, a charming copyright worker with hidden motives. What begins as a light-hearted encounter quickly spirals into one of the most intense and emotionally charged arcs in the series. The film is directed by Tatsuya Yoshihara, known for his work as the action director on the TV series. The script is written by Hiroshi Seko, with character designs by Kazutaka Sugiyama and music composed by Kenshuka Shia, all veterans returning to deliver a consistent and cinematic experience. What's next for Chainsaw Man, the Reze Arc? Key dates and events to watch. Hype builds as the countdown begins. There's plenty more in store as we count down to Chainsaw Man the Movie, Reze Arc's release. Starting April 4th, a brand new teaser trailer will begin screening in theaters across Japan, offering fans their first real taste of the film's animation, tone, and action. The full release follows on September 19, 2025, but fans can expect steady updates from the official X, formerly Twitter, account in the Ventimiglia, hinting at more reveals, visuals, and maybe even special events in the months to come. In the meantime, the newly released character art is already generating massive buzz, offering a fresh look at beloved characters and teasing what's to come with newcomers like Reze. With the next trailer just around the corner, fans are eager to see how Studio MAPPA will bring the emotional weight and explosive action of the Reze arc to life. One thing's clear up, it's a great time to be a Chainsaw Man fan. Number 5. Despite being an age-restricted anime film, the hype for Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc has been off the charts, even more so because it directly picks up from where the anime left off, carrying sky-high expectations from both anime-only fans and manga readers alike. So, did the movie live up to those expectations? Yes, it did, more than anyone could have ever hoped for. MAPPA truly pulled off an absolute cinema experience with the Reze Arc, backed by what felt like an unlimited production budget. It didn't just faithfully adapt the manga panel by panel, it gave the story a new identity. However, some may find the movie a bit rushed, but make no mistake, it doesn't skip a single important detail from the manga. The Reze Arc was always meant to be a shorter continuation of the storyline, raising the stakes while fleshing out previously introduced characters, such as Denji, Makima, Aki, and the Angel Devil. None may have found Denji's heart yet, but the movie sure found ours. Reze was like an illusion in Denji's life, yet at the same time, he was this close to grasping her. Makima fans might not agree, but Reze has been the only girl Denji truly deserved. The two share the kind of similarities every wannabe couple dreams of. Yet, fate was never in their favor. It turns out Reze was essentially the Bomb Devil, or more accurately, the current hybrid host of the Bomb Devil, sent by the USSR, the Soviet Union, to capture Chainsaw Man's, Pashita's, heart. It was all part of a political scheme to seize control of the Chainsaw Devil, whom even other devils fear for reasons not shown yet in the anime. But what does Denji have to do with any of this? Nothing. All he ever wanted was to live the simple life of his dreams, sleeping in, bathing, and eating good food. Sure, he desperately wants to get laid, too, but above all, he is hopelessly determined when it comes to Makima. Reze, however, gave him, and us fans, a glimpse of hope that she might be the real one. The sad truth, though, is that nobody ever cared about Denji's heart. Everyone's after the Chainsaw Devil's heart. This issue might sound trivial, but to Denji, it's painfully real. And the saddest part, at the very end of the movie, just as Reze was truly starting to feel something after being saved by Denji, Makima showed up and ruined any chance she had to change. Sure, Reze was the devil, and by that logic, she had to be killed, but the way Makima handled it made the scene feel a little too brutal. It raises questions like, did Makima really do the right thing, or should Reze have been left alive? Guess we'll never know. Anime movies often don't have that cinematic charm, you know, especially the soundtracks say they lack that full, immersive presence. But Chainsaw Man was built differently, right from season 1. And that carried over beautifully into this movie. The film's soundtracks were truly a chef's kiss. The opening by Kenshi Ionsu, Iris Out, is such a bop that fits the movie perfectly, so much so that his voice itself screams Chainsaw vibes. Then add Hikaru Utada into the mix with the ending theme Jane Doe, and it's absolute perfection. And beyond those obvious bangers, every OST in the movie is inspiringly well composed. Animation was the least of anyone's worries. Just from the trailer alone, it was obvious MAPPA was going to cook. And oh boy, so they did a literal 5-star Michelin meal with bombastic sakuga that felt like a parting gift from Reze. Neither season 1 nor the anime has any lazy camera shots or awkward frames. Everyone knows that even a mediocre anime puts its best effort into its fight scenes. So even if we exclude that from the movie, which was arguably better than anything MAPPA has done before, every other frame, the choreography, and the camera angles were all picture perfect. Most of the credit must go to the director, Tatsuya Yoshihara, who also directed the JJK0 movie. So, this level of mastery is a hallmark of his work. Now, to conclude, Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc may feel a bit rushed, especially for viewers unfamiliar with the prior story or the deeper themes of the series. But for those who know, Reze was never meant to be a spotlight character in the long run. So, the movie was perfect in almost all possible ways. Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc will be released in U.S. theaters on October 24, 2025. The movie got everything right down to the smallest detail and continuing the Chainsaw Man anime. Number 6 From Love to Suffering and Everything in Between, Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc's new reveal teases an exhilarating sequel to the popular anime series. As announced at Anime Japan 2025, the Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc film will be released in theaters in Japan on September 19, 2025. While no new trailer has yet been revealed, teaser trailers and posters with the release date will be distributed domestically from April 4. Alongside the release date, 12 new movie visuals were also released for the characters Chainsaw Man, Denji, Pashida, Makima, Aki, Power, Kobeni, Beam, The Violence Fiend, Angel Devil, Reze and Bomb Devil. Readers can check out the new Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc images below. Chainsaw Man's new reveal was made with anime voice actors Kikunosuke Toya, Denji, Tomori Kusunoki, Makima, and Bama Uchida, Angel Devil, in attendance, and follows Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc's stunning debut trailer at Jump Festa. Tatsuya Yoshihara, who most recently directed the popular Wistoria, Wand and Sword, was announced as Ryu Nakayama's successor for Crunchyroll streams Chainsaw Man Season 1, which adapts Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga of the same name. Part 1 of the series ended in December 2020 before Part 2 kicked off in July 2022. The series is officially described. Denji is a young boy who works as a devil hunter with the chainsaw devil Pashida. One day, as he was living his miserable life trying to pay off the debt he inherited from his parents, he got betrayed and killed. As he was losing his consciousness, he made a deal with Pashida, and got resurrected as the Chainsaw Man, the owner of the Devil's Heart. Number 7 Sony Pictures Entertainment India is gearing up to release Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc on 26th of September 2025. This anime film will be available in both Japanese and Hindi languages. Fans are eagerly awaiting its debut, and the movie has already generated significant buzz. The Central Board of Film Certification, CBFC, has reviewed the film and granted it an A rating without any visual cuts. The movie's duration is 102 minutes, which translates to 1 hour and 42 minutes. Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc positive reception and anticipation even before its official release. The film is receiving enthusiastic feedback. Viewers have expressed admiration for its animation quality, action sequences, and emotional storytelling. These elements seem to resonate well with audiences, contributing to the excitement surrounding the film. The movie will be released in India on September 26 in both Japanese with English subtitles and Hindi. It will be available in IMAX as well as all premium formats, offering viewers a variety of options to enjoy this cinematic experience. One user tweeted, "Just watched Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc at a special screening. It's an emotional roller coaster with breathtaking visuals." Another wrote, "The animation in Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc looks stunning. Definitely a must-watch for anime lovers. #movie night." The anticipation for Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc is palpable among fans and critics alike. With its upcoming release in multiple formats and languages, it promises to deliver an engaging experience for anime enthusiasts across India. The film will release in India on September 26, in Japanese with English subtitles, and Hindi, in IMAX and all premium formats. Number 8 Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc has been released in Japan while people are still under the spell of Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. Like the affordable movie, it will eventually be released worldwide. Meanwhile, Reze Arc has landed with strong numbers at the box office in Japan. Keep scrolling for the deets. The film has been produced by MAPPA, another leading studio in Japan that also produces Jujutsu Kaisen. It was released in Japan by Toho, and outside Japan, the movie will be released by Crunchyroll through Sony Pictures Releasing. The rollout begins this Friday at select Asian markets. Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc's box office collection at the box office in Japan. According to industry insider Luis Fernando's report, Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc collected a strong yen $435.8 million at the box office in Japan on Friday, its opening day. This is approximately $2.9 million in USD. However, this is nothing in comparison to Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle's opening day haul of $13.4 million. This series has yet to make a fanbase like that of Demon Slayer. How much is it expected to earn on its opening weekend in Japan? According to the trade analyst's calculations, the first Chainsaw Man movie is tracking to earn between $9 million and $11 million on its 3-day opening weekend at the box office in Japan. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle collected around $37.5 million on its 3-day opening weekend. It might not beat Infinity Castle's opening weekend collection, but it is expected to dethrone it from the #1 spot this weekend. Finally, Chainsaw Man Reze Arc, based on Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga series of the same name, was released in Japan on September 19. It is the direct sequel to the anime show's first season, which is scheduled to be released in North America and worldwide on October 24. The movie will be released in select Asian markets on Friday, September 24. Note: box office numbers are based on estimates and various sources. Numbers have not been independently verified by Koimoi. Stay tuned to Koimoi for more box office updates and stories. Must read: The Conjuring. Last Right's worldwide box office outgrosses Steven Spielberg's star-studded crime drama a James Bond classic. Number 9. Chainsaw Man has me in a chokehold for a while now. Tatsuki Fujimoto has a unique ability to mix horror, silly humor, and heart-wrenching moments to such effect that I can feel some of his character's pain. Denji, a guy with an actual chainsaw heart, only wants a girlfriend and a burger. Fujimoto, however, keeps putting Denji through the emotional ringer. That Reze arc. It is the arc that makes me cry in a corner every time. Denji and Reze, the bomb girl, have a brief romantic moment, only to end up in this brutal misunderstanding. It was gut-wrenching. Fujimoto certainly has this ability for such tragic stories that break my heart, but I keep coming back for more. So, this bomb girl arc, chapters 40-52, completely ripped my heart out. You get the series, an adorable worker at a cafe / copyright who seems to have an understanding of how lonely Denji is. They have a great time together, a date, fireworks, even a kiss that would have melted anyone's heart. Then, bombshell, pun intended, she is the bomb devil hybrid and was sent by the Gun Devil's crew to rip Denji's heart out as a gift for MAPPA. She invites him to the pool, goes explosive, and almost blows him into pieces. He fights back as Chainsaw Man, but MAPPA's goons crash the party, and Reze assumes Denji set her up. She limps away wounded, with one arm and one leg gone, dragging herself to the cafe / copyright to meet Denji, but he's gone, waiting, thinking she just ghosted him. She's devastated, thinking Denji played her, while he's heartbroken himself, thinking she bailed on him. Fans on Instagram are screaming, "This arc's a stab to the heart," and I'm like, ah yeah. Fujimoto's a savage when it comes to crafting such tragic arcs. Fujimoto has this evil genius thing where he makes me love characters, and then he tears my heart out. Reze's arc hurts me because Denji and Reze are both so desperately lonely and yearning for a real connection. And then they become pawns in a game they're being used in. The way Fujimoto draws Denji's naively hopeful expression as he waits for Reze, or the quiet agony in her face as she crawls away. It's too real for me. I was weeping over Denji's "I'll be waiting" line at the cafe told the copyright. Other arcs hit hard, Aki's death or power getting taken out, but Reze's arc hits like a romantic gut punch that transcended anything I experienced up to that point. And don't even get me started on the one-shots. Look back, it is a perfect love letter to artists that had me emotional over friendship and loss. Goodbye, Eri. Yuta's grief journey left me speechless. Fujimoto has a way of making every story feel like it aims straight for your heart, and here I am, devastated but still reading like a stan. Chainsaw Man, the movie A Reze Arc, will be available in theaters from October 29, 2025. Created by David S. Goyer and Josh Friedman, Apple TV Plus' science fiction series Foundation, which is loosely based on Isaac Asimov's novel series of the same name, is ready to make a return in July 2025 for its third season. Seasons 1 and 2 have received positive responses from the audience and critics. However, some have criticized the significant changes in the story, along with time jumps and the complexity of the plot. Foundation holds an 86% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, and some of the ardent fans, despite pointing out the changes made from the novel to the show, are looking forward to Season 3. However, we are afraid that the Foundation's fate is very much like Adam Scott's Star or Severance. Post-Season 1, Apple TV Plus' Foundation is dealing with the same challenge as Severance. David S. Goyer and Josh Friedman's Foundation is all set to return to the screen for a third season in July 2025. Ahead of its release, the audience has been aware that there is going to be a time jump, 152 years after the events of the second chapter, to be precise, in the series, along with new faces being introduced. The official synopsis read, via Radio Times, the Foundation has become increasingly established far beyond its humble beginnings, while the Cleonic dynasty's empire has dwindled. As both of these galactic powers forget an uneasy alliance, a threat to the entire galaxy appears in the fearsome form of a warlord known as the Mule, whose sights are set on ruling the universe by use of physical and military force as well as mind control. While a section of the audience is thrilled for Hari Seldon, Gul Dornick, the Kleans, and more to be back, they have also noted that the Foundation faces the challenge of Adam Scott's Severance facet post-Season 1 release. It is to have a long gaps between seasons. It has been noted that the longer the duration between seasons, the more the viewership and interest of the audience in the storyline diminish. Adam Scott's Severance Season 2 took a long time to premiere thanks to its complex storyline and dual strikes at the time. It took almost 3 years to be back on screen, and it took some time for the viewers to get back to the show and get a hang of it. It has been known that long gaps often lead to viewer burnout, as they'd end up feeling that they have waited too long. But the showrunner is now looking at premiering Season 3 at an adequate time. One of the reasons why Foundation is facing this challenge is because there are so many brilliant shows and movies rolling out almost every week, and if the seasons take too long, the viewer's mind can instantly switch to another interesting show. According to reports by Deadline in 2024, the cast and crew were asked to return home while the production issue for the show was being sorted out, including the budget being brought down. During an online discussion, via Reddit, a user noted that they highly doubt Foundation is going to get renewed after Season 3 because of various reasons, including the budget cuts, moving productions twice, and maybe a lack of viewership. Another user mentioned that they just hoped Season 3 has managed to overcome all the mistakes made in Season 2, but with financial issues and the showrunner Goyer stepping away, they aren't so sure about it. Despite the delay, fans are looking forward to watching the third season and are keeping their fingers crossed with the hope that Season 3 delivers something beyond 1 and 2. Back in February 2025, Deadline reported that Ian Goldberg had been tapped in as the new executive producer, showrunner, with the Season 4 writers' room up and running. After a long delay of 3 years due to a number of reasons, Apple TV Plus' Foundation is finally going to be back in July, but maybe the studio does not want to take any more chances with the show, which is why they have got the writers' room ready for Season 4 already. David S. Goyer had to step away from directing the third season due to scheduling conflicts, but he did finish writing the storyline for the show. The 10-episode run for the third season is loosely based on the novel of the same name in Isaac Asimov's works. It should be known that David S. Goyer, before making significant changes into the story, whether it's gender-swapping characters or robots turning humans, he informed Asimov's estate and Robin Asimov about changes, who had happily obliged, saying that even the author would understand if a few changes were brought to bring success and popularity to the book and the author. Seasons 1 and 2 weren't straightforward adaptations of the first two Asimov novels as well. Season 3 is also supposedly not going to follow a straightforward adaptation. David S. Goyer, in his conversation with Inverse, had shared, to a certain extent, we're dealing with the trilogy, the prequels, and the sequels, but I've remixed them. Tim Southam stepped in to direct the show after Goyer stepped down from his position. The co-creator of the show continued to write and serve as the executive producer for the show from Los Angeles. Number 10. CSM MAPPA revealed new updates for Chainsaw Man the movie. Reze Arc on July 3 at Anime Expo 2025 in Los Angeles. Since the film continues the story after the Chainsaw Man TV anime and will be released on September 19. Since 4 new cast members were announced: Hidenori Takahashi, Kenji Akabane, Kenji Nomura, and Eri Kitamura. Since Kensai Onsu performs the theme song Iris Out, which was featured in the new trailer. Since advance tickets with the clear file bonus will go on sale in Japan starting July 18. On July 3, MAPPA unveiled new details about Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc during its panel at Anime Expo 2025 in Los Angeles. The new announcements include the addition of 4 voice actors and a theme song by Kensai Onsu. The movie, based on Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga, follows the events of the TV anime and is set to premiere in Japan on September 19. It will be released in over 50 countries and regions. What MAPPA announced at Anime Expo 2025 at the MAPPA panel on July 3 during Anime Expo 2025 in Los Angeles. New information was released about the upcoming film Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc. The film adapts the Reze Arc from the manga series Chainsaw Man, created by Tatsuki Fujimoto. The story continues directly from the TV anime and features Denji's encounter with a mysterious girl named Reze. The anime adaptation by MAPPA is known for its high-intensity action sequences, and the theatrical version aims to carry on this tradition. The panel revealed that the film will premiere on September 19 in Japan, and will be released in over 50 countries and regions thereafter. The anime series has been widely distributed across more than 200 countries and regions, and the manga has surpassed 30 million copies in circulation. Chainsaw Man is currently serialized on Shueisha's digital platform Shonen Jump Plus. New cast and characters revealed. 4 new voice actors have been confirmed for the movie. Hidenori Takahashi will voice the Division 2 Vice Captain of the Public Safety Devil Hunters Special Division 2. Kenji Akabane will portray Nomo, another member of Division 2. Kenji Nomura has been cast as a mysterious man who targets the chainsaw's heart, while Eri Kitamura will voice the Typhoon Devil, a character known for its immense destructive power. These cast members expressed their thoughts in comments published alongside the announcement. Each actor described their experiences during recording sessions and shared their impressions of participating in the Chainsaw Man project. Music, trailer, and ticket information. Kensai Onsu, who previously performed the opening theme Kickback for the 2022 Chainsaw Man TV anime, will return to perform the movie's theme song titled Iris Out. The song was featured in a new trailer that premiered at Anime Expo 2025. The trailer includes intense battle scenes and shows Denji's emotional turmoil between Makima and Reze, all set to the newly announced song. Additionally, advance movie tickets in Japan will go on sale on July 18. Purchasers will receive a limited edition clear file featuring Denji and Reze. The artwork on the ticket uses the previously released teaser visual, which drew significant attention online. Other exclusive pre-sale goods will also be available through various retail channels. Number 11. The television anime series premiered on TV Tokyo and 5 other affiliated channels, as well as on Amazon Prime Video in October 2022. Crunchyroll is streaming the anime in over 200 countries and territories around the world. Crunchyroll describes the story. Denji is a teenage boy living with a chainsaw devil named Pashida. Due to the debt his father left behind, he has been living a rock-bottom life while repaying his debt by harvesting devil corpses with Pashida. One day, Denji is betrayed and killed. As his consciousness fades, he makes a contract with Pashida and gets revived as Chainsaw Man, a man with the devil's heart. Fujimoto, Fire Punch, debuted the Chainsaw Man manga and Weekly Shonen Jump in December 2018 and ended its first part, the K.A. Ring and Public Safety arc, in December 2020. The manga's second part, titled Gakkai Ring Hen, School Arc, started on Shueisha's Shonen Jump Plus service in July 2022. The manga won the Best Manga Award as the Harvey Awards for 3 consecutive years. Number 12 at this point. The brilliance of MAPPA's anime adaptation of Chainsaw Man might be better chronicled in pop culture media than Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga original, if only because more people watch anime than read manga. But if you agree that Chainsaw Man is arguably one of the best anime, it probably won't surprise you to learn that Chainsaw Man is also arguably one of the best manga. And in the last month or so, Fujimoto has made that abundantly clear. I'll keep the spoiler-free up front. Kicking off at chapter 122, the current thread of Chainsaw Man has been consistently jaw-dropping. There has been stunning art and brilliant layout composition. There's been genuine horror. There have been profound revelations about drama. There have been moments that made me break out laughing, and stay laughing long after the panel was over. There have been chainsaw motorcycles. Our newsletter, The Clubhouse, offers a weekly dive into geek culture through a feminist, inclusive lens. Celebrate bold creators and get fresh takes on movies, games, and more. In other words, these chapters have showcased the Chainsaw Man-esque aspects of Chainsaw Man in quick succession, and in so doing, they've solidified Chainsaw Man as one of my favorite pieces of all media. All of it. I can think of no series able to demonstrate an empathetic understanding of trauma and hardship, and then cut the tension with such absurd humor that it almost feels underhanded. But it isn't. Even at its most absurd, or when its world is the most cruel, anime watchers, just you wait. Chainsaw Man's beating heart is always there, which is hard to peel off. Denji is, of course, the key. These chapters have also made me feel comfortable fully owning the opinion that Denji's one of the best protagonists in all of shonen. Rather like my beloved Monkey D. Luffy, Denji is, at his core, an empathetic person, but operates by giving zero shits, which makes his reactions absurd and delightfully unpredictable. In the most emotionally intense moments of these chapters, Denji swoops in at just the right moment to cut that heaviness with a knife, and it's a damn clean cut. But we've exhausted the part of this article where I can keep talking without going into specifics, because there's one page I really need to talk about, a profound understanding of trauma and PTSD. Spoilers for chapters 120-130 ahead. Also, warning for potentially triggering discussions about PTSD and animal abuse. Throughout part 2. We've learned about Asa's past as we got to know her. But in chapter 123, we are told what happens to her cat, Krambon, after losing her parents to a devil attack. Partially kinda sorta and not really, because Asa saved Krambon. Asa lands at a kind of orphanage. Asa is a recluse, chilling inside with Krambon while the other kids are out playing. The head of the orphanage convinces Asa to part with Krambon, because Krambon might be happier at her friend's place with other cats. But she doesn't take Krambon to a cat haven. She drowns Krambon in the river, out of jealousy. Let me be clear, this woman is the most evil character in all of Chainsaw Man. She makes the gun devil and the millions of resultant deaths look like a pony. You can make a pretty good argument that the gun devil has no concept of conscience. Actually, I perhaps feel very strongly about this because I know exactly how Asa felt about that cat. When you go through trauma as a child, pets can be your lifeline. The relatively simple, loving relationships between you and your pet becomes the healthiest relationship you have. And when you're dealing with PTSD, you need that love. Bad. It was very easy for me to put myself in Asa's shoes here, and imagining some lady drowning my childhood cat was nothing short of hellish, which feels like an understatement, honestly. No wonder Asa's freaking out. Which leads us to this page from chapter 124. We need to talk about this page, because it fucked me up. Whether Asa's trust issues resulted from the Krambon incident or beforehand, Fujimoto here presents a possible outcome of childhood PTSD that took me 10 years of therapy to puzzle out. We live in a society that is incredibly either, or. I figured having trust issues must mean I was afraid of companionship, not solitude. To realize that it was both took real work. I say this to underscore the point that this isn't the kind of discussion brought on by someone using trauma as a cheap trick. You do not see this delicate, intimate takeaway popping up all the time in media. This is the kind of difficult, nuanced revelation that comes from someone with a deep, empathetic understanding of PTSD. Honestly, I think there will be people who read this page and discover this about themselves. It's the kind of idea nobody tells you and isn't out there enough. And so, cue Denji to cut the tension. Just 2 chapters later, Denji gets hit with the same attack that makes you relive your trauma. Heartbreakingly, we see what Denji's trauma is, the worst moments from part 1. But after the gravitas of Asa's struggle, if Denji also bent here, Chainsaw Man would risk becoming trauma porn. There's absolutely such a thing as too much. Tatsuki Fujimoto knows this. So instead, Denji reacts in the dumbest, funniest way possible. This panel felt like an instantaneous release of pressure. From the point of view of someone with PTSD bracing for more tear-trigger panels, you could even say it felt like expecting a gut punch and instead receiving a delightful chitch. Because media that truly understands trauma also knows that continually going for the gut punch isn't actually in service of people dealing with trauma. A similar pattern plays out in chapter 127. Denji saves Asa, but Asa has resolved to die. The conversation which follows has all the hallmarks of struggles with depression and trauma. Asa assumes that no one can understand how she feels because no one has it worse than me. But Denji replies in a way which, very Denji-ish language and all, was genuinely moving. You know, life isn't all bad, but day in, day out, all you can remember is the bad stuff, and the disasters keep piling up like a hamburger made of crap. Right? Asa asks how Denji got over it, and he empathically replies that he's not. Like Denji getting hit with the trauma attack, you can feel a tightening emotional swell at this point. Just as Denji says he can make it through because has something to live for. Asa, foolishly, asks what it is. The reply? Sex. I wanna have sex. Asa's reply in turn is perfect. EWW. This is the brilliance of Chainsaw Man. It's a world with a lot of cruelty and a hefty helping of horror. As a result, the characters are all struggling. In this way, the series provides an exaggerated mirror to reflect the daily struggles of so many in the real world. But what makes watching that pain play out palatable, and deeply memorable as a series, is Chainsaw Man's refusal to take itself fully seriously and its open embrace of absurd humor. We can get a chainsaw motorcycle, or an asshole in the middle of a very tense scene, because why the hell not?